Hey everyone, is there anyone here? I'll just wait a few minutes um, while we talk about how much we hate Ken Roth, who's a bloody Imperial zombie. So he wrote this really stupid article called Zombie Democracy. And we're just going to wait for just a second to see if there's other people on. And thank you for joining us. Oh, there's 6 people. Hello, everyone. Become a paid subscriber, like I put in the scroll, and like do everything and also participate in the stream. So this is fun to have 6 people for my impromptu streams. So let's get started. So I don't know where to begin, but let's just start reading Ken Roth's really stupid article about zombie democracy. He is really annoying. Okay. So the first thing with this stupid article, if you can see it, is that it was written by Ken Roth. So you should always ignore everything written by Ken Roth, but let's go on. If you can see this. Okay. Demonstrators carry a huge historical flag of Belarus. That's ironic because do we want to guess what period in history the flag was from? He is such a dipshit. Well, here's a hint. I will show you what period in history the flag is from. Just give me 1 second. Oh, what? That's kind of awkward. It's you see this? This is the red, white, the whatever the horse thingy, the swastika. So yes, it is a historical flag, but just not the period of history that we want to commemorate. So now let's continue with the Ghoul's really horrible article. Over the past decade, autocrats around the world have perfected the technique of managed or guided democracy. By the way, say hi or something. I feel kind of weird when you guys don't participate in the stream. So yeah, just start talking or something like that. I kind of feel really weird and alone. Okay. In Can you see this? I hope the screen's big enough. Okay. Hi, hello. Catherine just said hi. Catherine just said, and good morning, Shmoopy Shaboopy. I appreciate both of you coming so early in the morning. Let me just make sure you guys can see properly. Okay. Can you see it? No, I need to scroll up just a bit. Can you now see? Let's see. Perfect. Okay. In Belarus, Egypt, Russia, Uganda, Venezuela, and elsewhere, authoritarians have periodic elections to enhance their legitimacy, but monopolized the media, restricted civil society, manipulated state institutions and resources to ensure they remain in power. I would translate this to like a word salad. I mean, seriously, this is a total word salad. Like none of like I personally don't think it means anything because it's completely a word salad. Okay, let's continue. Such methods are never foolproof, however. Their effectiveness has diminished as citizens have wised up and learned to operate. How did you know I was going to have an impromptu stream, Janet? Oh, probably because Ken Roth irritates me. You know how much I hate Ken Roth. God, I hate that man. Yeah, he is the worst ghoul on earth. I loathe him. I loathe him. Okay. I really can't stand him. A growing number of autocrats have. Okay. Yes. You also loathe Ken. Vito also loathes Ken Roth, and Nam New. I don't know. I know I'm mispronouncing Nugans. He does suck really badly. Okay. A growing number of autocrats thus have been forced to rely on ever starker forms of repression. They still hold periodic elections since their people have come to expect them. So it sounds like they're not autocrats, but whatever. I don't know about the ISIS sympathizer, but he is an absolute ghoul. But they do not even pretend that these empty rituals are free or fair. This result has been the proliferation of what might be called zombie democracies. The living dead of electoral political systems, recognizable in form but devoid of any substance. Does he sound? That sounds like the US, but whatever. Just as autocrats have moved from managed zombie democracy, so must the supporters of human rights evolve. Whereas they could once counter managed democracy by attacking particular autocratic techniques, restrictions on civil rights. Yuandri is right. We even have an episode with Dan Kovalik about the human rights industry, and if somebody can find it, please put it on there. Let's see. Whereas one could once counter. Oh, okay. Then restrictions on what the hell is civil society? It sounds like nonsense, but or say arrest of journalists. They must now fight zombie democracy with a more frontal approach, one that deprives autocrats of legitimacy they seek from electoral charades. Okay. Traditional dictatorships make no pretense of democracy. The Saudi and Emirati monarchies don't even bother to hold direct national elections. Nor does the Chinese Communist Party. That's wrong. It's kin in Cuba, North Korea, and Vietnam. Wait, that's not grammatically correct. Nor does whatever. Okay. I'm gonna be petty when he's grammatically wrong, but what? Okay. Or the unapologetically authoritarian governments of post-Soviet Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. I don't even think that's true, but whatever. Other authoritarian regimes, such as the military junta in Myanmar, has killed hundreds of protesters and imprisoned thousands since it seized power in February, and have overthrown elected governments and dispensed with democracy altogether. Okay, so do we know that they've killed hundreds of protesters? No, because it's dude, just trust us from Ken Roth. But what we do know about the opposition in Myanmar is, oh, by the way, I just finished interviewing Brian Bertalik. Thank you so much for everyone who suggested him. He turned out fantastic. Oh yeah, according to Reuters, let's so according to Reuters, let me show you the what the protesters in Myanmar have been doing, bombing schools. If you're going to be bombing schools, I just oh, I love how Reuters is putting up an ad for aerospace defense. Like seriously, bombing schools, very interesting. No more than a quarter of Myanmar's more than 12 million pupils enrolled for the new school year amid a protest boycott against military rule. So yeah, yeah, like indeed the protesters are definitely the ones doing the violence. Okay. Let's see. Um, and now let's continue back with Ken Roth's really stupid article that I really can't stand. That man. Oh my god, I hate him. A number of governments have cloaked their autocratic rule in the garb of democracy, only to strip away this thin disguise to the point of visibility in the recent years. A good example is Russia, which has hurtled towards the zombie democracy status in large part due to Alexei Navalny's repeated end runs around the Kremlin managed democracy. First of all, calling him good morning, Ware Pilgrim. Good Thursday morning. Yes. First of all, does anyone know which is the major party in Russia that's the biggest opposite? Oh, it's the Communist Party. How many seats does Navalny's stupid Apple Party have? 0. So calling him an opposition is a little over the top. The Kremlin has long kept the opposition in check by manipulating public opinion. This reminds me of how when Hillary Clinton accused Putin of hacking people's minds. So, in other words, the democratic will is being expressed in Russia, I guess. But Navalny's evaded Moscow's information controls by producing slick documentaries about the corrupt dealings of Vladimir Putin that garnered 10 million views on YouTube. Okay. The thing about Navalny is that he targets state-owned enterprises on behalf, and he literally has an organization for shareholders' rights. I am not kidding. Yeah, he literally has a shareholders. I've done a big thread on Twitter about this, and so people kind of know this. And once he was saying that this state-owned company should not be giving money to these orphanages, instead it should go to shareholders' rights. So he is an absolute clown. When he secured 23% of the vote in Moscow, the Kremlin barred his party as well as other genuinely independent opposition, which is always somehow funded by hedge funders and Wall Street and the National Endowment for Democracy. And in 2009, Navalny circumvented that restriction by encouraging Russians to vote for the candidates from the tame pseudo-opposition parties that the Kremlin had allowed. A smart voting strategy aimed at undercutting the ruling United Russia Party. Russian authorities responded by banishing Navalny to a penal colony. No, they didn't. He was around and claiming that somebody poisoned him and he went to Germany. Seeking to criminalize as an extremist any candidate who supported him because they were outright fascists. and tarring some of the country's remaining independent media outlets as foreign agents because they were funded by the National Endowment for Democracy. Russia will continue hold elections, but without the pretense of a genuine opposition or a free public debate. Except that there is a huge opposition, which is the Communist Party. They just don't want to talk about that because that's the opposition that doesn't count. Putin's ideological bedfellows in Belarus and Hungary have taken their countries down a similar path towards zombie democracy in Europe. So how is this like? Actually, you guys know that Viktor Orban, which is Hungary's leader, he was like the darling of the West. Um, uh, I believe. Let me see. Let me try to remember. Yeah, and I mean Viktor Orban very was very like was very pro West. Let me see if I can find a picture. Found it. Um, and there, it's really I found it. I found it. Okay. So, Viktor Orban was very pro West, and he was funded by the National Endowment for Democracy, and Bush loved him to the point where in 2001, Viktor Orban was given a medal of something. What is it called? What's it called? Medal of Honor or something like that, or freedom, whatever. See, so I don't know what happened that made Viktor Orban like suddenly authoritarian, but whatever. In office since 1994, Belarus. No, he has not been in office since 1994. It's been 1995, but whatever. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has relied on restrictions on media and civil society to maintain tight control of his country. That's bullshit. Let me explain what is going on. So actually, I've researched Belarus, and oh yeah, yesterday they signed something with China. So there's going to be like extra coup mongering, but let me find this. It gets really funny. So hold on. Let me find it. Okay. So in okay. So in 19 okay. That could be a thing. Yeah. Yeah, because I swear like Viktor Orban was like super pro West. Is this the right one? Yeah, okay. No, this is the wrong one. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. So yeah. Okay, now I got the right one. Give me 1 second now. Do you guys see this? Yeah, okay. So that was one of Lukashenko's I don't know what I think I showed you the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. Let's show you the right thing. How do I do this? Okay, we'll figure this out. Just Um, oh, yeah. Okay. So what happened is that after the Soviet Union was forcibly dismantled by ghouls against the will of the people. Okay. I think I got it now. Let's see. Is this it? Yeah. But you guys can't see anything. Damn it. How do I do this? Okay. Now can you see it? I hate sharing my okay. No, you can't see anything. Give me a second. One more second. Let me figure this out. I found it. Okay. Let's see if I can. I'll try it once more. Let's see if this works. Okay. So, okay. So, Okay. So basically, what happened is that the puppet that Bill Clinton created, Mr. whatever Bogdankevich, had most of Belarus's hard currency reserves with the Federal Bank in New York. In Mr. Lukashenko's view, it is an excessively risky depository institution. He had what? Okay, so yeah, the other guy. And so what Lukashenko did was he decided, hey, maybe we should not have our deposits in some treasury in New York. And so they're like, okay. And then so he renationalized the banks. And yeah, he had renationalized the banks. And he yeah. Okay. So now what Clinton did with okay, I'm just going to do this without the visuals, and I'll just make you you just follow along with the thread. I'll just send you the thread because it's really hard to do this right now with visuals because I so yeah, just follow along with this thread if you can see this. Okay, so what you can see is that with Clinton, the right to nominate with the fake U.S. Constitution, it says the right. Maybe I can do. Oh, I know. I think I got it. I got it. I got it. Hold on. Oh, I think I got it. Hold on one second. We don't have to do this. Give me one more second. Stay patient. I will. Okay, I know exactly what to do now. Just give me one more second of patience. Okay. Now I got it. Okay. So now, okay. So, can you guys see this? Let me do I need to make this bigger? Okay. So this was the fake constitution created by Westerners. It says the right to nominate presidential candidate will be enjoyed by those who manage to collect signatures of no less than 70 parliamentary deputies or 100,000 signatures of Belarusian candidates within 15 days. So you actually did not need to get the permission of the Belarusian people in order to actually run for president under the pro-democracy constitution. So Lukashenko came into power on what did he come to power? He came to power basically saying that, okay, we're not going to do this like crap. He actually wanted to reconstitute. Oh, thank you so much, Rob Simmons. I appreciate this. This is so sweet of you. This is very, very kind of you. Okay, thank you so much. And so now let's see what Lukashenko did to the Constitution. See, now you can't have parliamentary deputies nominating you. Candidates are nominated by the citizens of Belarus. Candidates must obtain at least 100,000 signature of voters. And instead of 15 days, you have 30 days. So he actually made it easier for candidates to run. And because with the Clinton Constitution, I'm just going to call it the Clinton Constitution, it was you only had 15 days to collect 100,000 signatures, but you didn't even need to do that if you got 100 or 80 or whatever that number of parliamentary deputies are. Like, that's like, imagine if you had to collect the signature of Nancy, you had either two choices, 15 days of 100,000 people, or you got to collect the signature of like Nancy Pelosi and everyone who she tells to collect the signature. That's not very democratic, in my opinion. Citizens, on the other hand, it's kind of hard to, it takes work. You can't like bribe all citizens, and you actually have to kind of pretend to be a decent person. So, so the Clinton Constitution is actually less democratic than the dictator Constitution, apparently, according to a dictator Constitution from what that Human Rights Watch praises. That like Human Rights Watch says is like bad. Okay. Let's see. Since in office in 1994, the Belarusian president has relied on restrictions. That sounds like a word salad. I don't know what they mean by restrictions on media and civil society. Like, that's a word salad. Because I see all sorts of like radio free, whatever, like radio free, whatever. I don't know. Like, this sounds like a complete word salad. When he sought a sixth term in office in 2020, he likely assumed he would coast to an easy victory after detaining the main opposition of candidates. No, what happened was that the dude, if my memory serves me correctly, the dude embezzled money, and he was like sent to jail for like 15 days. No, he embezzled money in January or something, and then they gave him a suspended sentence. And he then left the country, which he was not according to his parole terms. So then they put him in jail. Like, it was really weird. I've tweeted about this, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Okay. So but the public rallied around, I can never pronounce her name, so I just call her the Belarusian Guaido, the wife of the jailed protesters. Okay, she got less than she couldn't even manage to look like she finished. If you're going to cheat on an election, she couldn't even manage to look like she came in second place. I kid you not. Let me see if I can find it. But she literally could not manage to look like she had come in second place, even, because she's so bad. Like, I believe in like one of the rallies, they praised Hitler or something. I found it. Okay. Hold on one second. I will. Yeah, I found it. Like, it was yeah. I mean, they were, and then she was like running on like too many ambulances or something so bizarre. Yeah, she was like, like it was the exact same. What do you call it? Ukraine playbook. So, Okay, actually, she did kind of manage to look like she came second. So let me show you the graph I have. Do you guys see this? So basically, he won most of the votes because she is an extra ghoul. And there were other candidates too, believe it or not. And then they even had a none of the above option, and she barely made more votes than none of the above. So this is like a total lie by Ken Roth because he's a complete ghoul. Um, yeah, he is like a complete ghoul. So then, let's continue. I like having lots of people. Okay, thank you. I don't have lots of people, but I like having some people. Okay. He went as far as forcing. That was in this year, and the opposition figure was like in a militia in Ukraine and whatnot. Okay. Hungary had taken a different route to zombie democracy. After coming to power for a second time in 2010, Viktor Orban took control of the country's media, replaced independent judges with handpicked judges. Usually this is nonsense because this is like what they say with regard. They said this with regard to Lula and Evo Morales too. I don't know what Orban did. He's probably a total fascist, so he could have done this. But what happened was that they had these like U.S. trained idiots as judges, and in Bolivia now you have to like democratically elect their Supreme Court. So they're just upset that they lost control of it. Gerrymandered electoral districts and deployed. Okay, I don't know if this is true. I don't even care. But Orban's strategy began to fail in 2019 when his party lost local elections in many large cities. This part's true. Now, faced with the possibility that his party could lose next year's parliamentary election to unified opposition, Orban is moving to ensure that his party will control the state that doesn't even make sense. Okay, this sounds like they're making. His party has quietly taken controls of the boards. That sounds like nonsense, and is creating foundations that sounds exactly like what Ken Roth does by cronies that will control. Okay, this sounds like nonsense, and I don't know what Orban did to. He was like used to be a Western media darling, so I don't know what he did to like incur the wrath now. Or this could be just a. Did he do something with China? I know he probably imported Chinese vaccines or something like that. Yeah, I bet you that's what he did. Zombie democracy has also taken root in Latin America, notably in Venezuela and Nicaragua. After Venezuela's strongman, a ruling party lost parliamentary elections in 20. He used his control over electoral and judicial authorities to ensure that the future elections would be neither fair or free. This is 100% false. And I actually wrote an article about exactly this exact thing about Venezuela. And let me explain what happened. Okay, so the opposition. Okay, here, I found it. Okay, so let me see if I can share this. Okay, so give me one. Sorry, I just kind of got, okay, here. Do you see this? Let's see. I don't like the way it automatically defaults to this layout. Okay, so, okay, so it says in 2015, no one is disputing that. Then they swore in without hindrance. But in 2015, the Supreme Court did block 3 out of the 112 opposition members from swearing in because there were challenges of vote buying and electoral fraud. The opposition deliberately ignored it and blocked those and swore in those blocked members anyways. Because the opposition leaders ignored the ruling and swore those 3 assembly members anyways, the Supreme Court ruled that any decision made by the National Assembly were null and void as long as those 3 members were in the assembly. They were first required to answer to the allegations of vote buying and election fraud. After a few weeks, these rogue assembly members decided to step aside. Once the lawmakers stepped aside, the Supreme Court said that the assembly could continue. And the first thing they did was try to privatize the slums. And then they passed this mass amnesty law. And the mass amnesty was so psychotic. If you have bombed a daycare center, I don't think you should, with little kids, little black kids, the opposition's super racist. I don't think you should get amnesty. I'm sorry, but bombing daycare centers is a horrific, horrific thing. Okay. So that's a lie. And let's see, what else did Ken Roth say? God, I really hate him. Sorry, I know. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. He also said, Maduro's, in response to Maduro's government recently appointed 2 elections but it seems to be, no, it's okay. So basically, in other words, Maduro's government is not oppressing the opposition because Juan Guaido, for example, exists and whatever. So they even made a concession and allowed 2 opposition members to be in the electoral council. So this is the opposite of repressing the opposition. Okay. In Nicaragua, President Daniel Ortega has grown steadily more autocratic as well. When large-scale protests erupted his rule and his government responded with murderous repression. Yeah. The police and heavily armed pro-government groups, that's just probably racism. He probably means black people or indigenous people. I can't, it usually means that. Pro-government groups, heavily armed, that's just outright racist. He carried out a brutal crackdown on demonstrators. Okay, I don't have any proof that there were actually 300 people dead. Ben Norton was in Nicaragua, and what they were doing is very similar to the Venezuela plan, except these are Contras. The government detained hundreds more. That's also, we don't know. That's just numbers they made up. Carried out another wave of arrests. 7 okay, this one's true. 7 presidential candidates and at least 20 critics have been arrested. Well, but they were literally Contras, as in they yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand the Christian Democratic Union was that whole history with the not Christians in Germany. That was really awkward around 1933. Okay. So it's kind of funny. He said that leaving Ortega to run for his 4th consecutive term effectively unopposed, but there were 15 presidential there was a lot. It was the opposite of unopposed. Okay, so now he's putting in Erdogan, and this is just the West loves Erdogan. This is true, a lot of it. Let's see. Erdogan has sought to eviscerate independent medias and exert controls over the court. Mostly true, but not completely. In that, I don't know how to explain it, but by independent media, he means he doesn't really mean independent media. He means capitalist media. Okay. And he also appears to be preparing, so he's not doing that. raising concerns that the election. I mean, this is all hypothetical, so let's just ignore this. In Egypt, General turned President Sisi and his military junta have sought to foreclose the possibility of victory by an independent party such as the Muslim Brotherhood. Who cracked down on that? Oh, yeah, the US. It was a coup. Okay. By imposing the most repressive rule in the country's modern history. Shutting down independent media. I don't think this part's true. Harassing civil society groups. I don't even know what civil society, like, name the groups if you can. I'm just going to assume you're lying. Detaining tons and tens of thousands of people. This seems maybe a few thousand, but I don't think it's tens of thousands, but it could be wrong. But Sisi's a Western, he's a pro-Western guy, but they just have him here. In 2018, I don't know if this is true. I need to check this. The Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, meanwhile, was re-elected this year with a less commanding 58.6. See, this is like a catch-22. If you win by a lot, you're cheating. And if you barely win, you're also cheating. So this is really stupid. Okay. But only after his security forces arrested his main opponent and brutalized and killed many of his supporters. I'm going to have to just check this for context because I don't know enough about Uganda to comment, but I will check for context if this is true. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Okay. Finally, Hong Kong has taken on some of the characteristics of a zombie democracy. An election process that allowed pro-Beijing, okay, look at this, constituencies, as in people, chose half the members, okay, only half? So he's saying that the citizens of Hong Kong chose only half. Okay, that's not very authoritarian here. After a landslide victory, yes, because most people don't want to be colonized, in the 2019 local elections amid large-scale protests, pro-democracy candidates briefly threatened to prevail in the next legislative election council by using an informal, this sounds weird, okay. Participants are now being prosecuted for acts of terrorism, like throwing a brick at an elderly street sweeper's head and killing him, setting a man on fire, and all the opposition, by opposition, they mean violent psychos, have been actively shut down under harsh national security laws imposed by Beijing. Yeah, they like did hit and runs, they tied up reporters, they killed people, they lynched people. Oh my God, I forgot. They had this like in behind this university, they had like an unbelievable amount of weapons cache inside. Like, imagine if any group in the U.S. like had like inside of Harvard, they had like these weapons caches like of like explosives that could go off anytime. I mean, they deserve to be cracked down. The problem have zombie democracies have become so acute that governments committed to promoting there is, oh, fuck off. This is stupid. Okay, oh my God. For decades, the standard response to manage democracy has been to attack their tools of election manipulation one by one, calling out censorship, opposing. What the bleep are these civil societies? To me, they sound like code for organizations like National Endowment for Democracy organizations, but I could be wrong, or defending the rights of opposition candidates to nudge the government back towards allowing an unfettered media. Judicial independence is like a code word that you should always ignore because it usually means non-democratic. Countering zombie democracies requires a more holistic approach. Their leaders have been given up trying to manage popular opinion in favor of quashing it. But even worse, the zombie democracy. Okay, what? This makes no sense. So he's like saying that they have popular consent. So they're essentially democracies. How do you, what? None of, like, how do you decide when popular consent is coerced? That's just ridiculous. If you have popular consent, I don't care. Yeah, this is, Vito's absolutely right about the Veto is 100% right about the Beijing candidates. They absolutely did this. The United States and other. So this is like outright racism. So it's like saying white people are the only ones, and all these like dark hordes from the east, all those Mongols and those hordes of uncivilized people who can't handle democracies. Well, they should allow white people to run the country. I mean, what else does he mean? Other like-minded democracies, if he doesn't mean United States and Western Europe, aka white people. This is like genuinely very racist. Since like Asiatic hordes or like Latinos or whatever can't apparently handle democracy. Should continue to denounce the censorship and other abusive tactics that zombie democracies use to silence their critics, as well as political and legal machinate. This is word salad. They should also provide sustenance of zombie democracies, and be it U.S. military aid and arms sales to CC or European Union subsidies for Orban. Sure, don't fund. The U.S. military should not be giving arms sales, and European Union shouldn't even exist. But whatever. The country is seeking what white people again. Like we need to really, kind of explain how this is literally he means white people, because he might as well say that. White people need to control these like brown. Of course, by white people I mean colonizers in Western Europe, and should go further and hit the. This is very stupid. Don't fall for this, because what's going on is that they want to do listen to all our episodes with Brian Mayer, and what they just want to do is lavajato type of operations. So I hope you can see this screen. Let me see. What am I? Okay. See, countries seeking to promote genuine democracy should go. Good morning, Alex. By the way, countries seeking genuine democracy, white people. That's like the most racist thing. He might as well say that. Like seriously. So I'll just put that. White people should go a step further and hit brown people, maybe yellow people, whatever race, non-white people, where it hurts the most, exposing. And this is the nonsense. So when they talk about exposing corruption, what they mean is they exclusively target state-owned enterprises, because that's like a privatization scheme, like they did with Lula and Lavajato, or with Navalny. So don't ever fall for this. This is literally what this ghoul means. Okay, so let's continue. What a bleeping good morning, Sunday morning. It's Thursday. Right? I don't know. Thank you so much, Olympia. I don't know like what I do without her and John Spinoza, who have been great mods, and Janet, who's been fantastic with everything. Let's see. Because zombie Democrats no longer trust even a manipulated public. Come on. They increasingly rely on cronies in the military and private sector to prop up their rule. Who does not? I mean, that sounds really stupid. But generals and oligarchs are rarely true believers in zombie democracy. Their loyalty must be bought through a diversion of public funds, which is the autocrats' Achilles' heels. Okay, this sounds really stupid. Okay. Okay. Democratic governments, again, white people. I wish there was a way I could just like, oh, maybe I can. Okay. I know what. I'll just, let's see. Oh, yeah, I can totally do that. Okay. Let me see if you can see it. Can you guys see my change where I changed it to, yep, you can. Yeah. Oops, I typed white people wrong, but let's see. Let's try it again. White people should spotlight the ways in which brown people advance their private advance at the public's expense. So he means people have privatized industries that they won't let white people buy. I believe that's the yeah, that's what he means. Yes. Yeah. This is fun. Okay, I should do this more often. This is so okay. This is what he really means. Okay. Okay. Sisi and Orban have both left public hospitals decrepit while paying off cronies. Okay. Kremlin, the pension part is, I think, true. The wages, I'm not so sure. But notice how, okay, the friendly billionaires is funny because that also implies that there are unfriendly billionaires in Russia. Are there unfriendly billionaires in the US? No, because every billionaire is a friendly billionaire. Okay. Maduro has paid off the army. Well, people, what do you mean paid off? He probably just means paid the army. While the people suffer a humanitarian crisis brought brought on them because we literally hijacked their oil and sold it. Okay, that's a better one. Similar critiques can be made of all other non-white people. Yeah, yeah. People. Yep, this is perfect. Sadly, President Biden missed the chance to hammer Putin for his corrupt. What is he talking about? Between the two leaders in Geneva. Later said that he spoke to Putin about the violation of human rights. But apart from a brief, okay, this means that the what? That the Russian people are too stupid, of course. Didn't get to hear Biden. What? I'm sorry. Didn't get to hear Biden criticize Putin and his oligarch friends. No, this they didn't do that. Because okay, I couldn't find Putin's what Putin owns or does not own, and my guess is neither do they like know what he owns and what he. and gutting the country's democracy so that they don't have to answer what democracy. What are you talking about? Like, there was never any a Western style democracy in Russia. That's there was this like brief time where you had Boris Yeltsin, but that's okay. Biden again. See, white people. He literally means white people did a better job of highlighting the corruption of the brown Cuban government after protests don't erupt. They're not volcanoes or mountains. He publicly criticized Cuba's not white authoritarian leaders for enriching them. Okay, we don't know if they did this because, like, if I can't find it on public records, neither can Roth. Instead of protecting the people from the pandemic, what? The kind of pointed criticism resonates for more with the citizens of authoritarian countries than the perfunctory note about human rights being privately mentioned. No, they think that you're a bloody ghoul. So yeah, like, and Biden can barely make sentences. I have to show you this really funny clip. It's really funny. The best way to undermine zombie democracies is to demonstrate that their leaders are indifferent to the publics they pretend to serve. Sure. Yes, autocrats can resort to brutally clinging to power, but that is a dangerous game. Even the most committed dictators have a hard time hanging on when the public has completely turned on. Again, see, he's like letting this game go. Biden and other Democratic leaders, let's change it again to what they really mean. White people. White people should stress how, in their quest to retain power, leaders of zombie democracy have utterly forsaken the people. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay. So as you can see, Ken Roth really sucks, and he's kind of racist. Who did I pronounce? Who's Zhao as Zhao? Jawa. Who did I mispronounce? I'm sorry. Now let me see if I can figure out how. Oh, I will. I'm so sorry. You have to. I can't stop laughing because this one's really. You'll also laugh once you hear this. I'm sorry. I just, I can't. This is so funny. I don't even know what to say, but you're gonna laugh just as much as I am laughing once you learn about this. It's too funny. Okay, so okay. I will say, okay, now you'll understand why I'm laughing so much. Okay, this is what. Okay, let's start this. Okay. Okay. Can you see?
What must be what?
A pathway for citizenship.
Did you guys hear this? Let's try this. Let me go back. Okay, try it.
Must it be reconciliation?
What must be what?
So it does sound like Yeah. Stephanie's right. No, Stefan Schaud. Um, its projection show me more of a zombie democracy than a Western democracy that results in the ruling class being always put first. Absolutely. Yes. And this is basically what it is. Um, and Ken Roth is such a despicable human being. So with that, I hope you enjoyed my impromptu stream. And now that I have Melon app, I can do more impromptu streams every time I get upset with Ken Roth. Um, and please like. Yeah, and please subscribe, please like, subscribe, what else can you do? And become a paid subscriber. And yeah, let's see. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me get this. Good afternoon, Missy. I am reading a book on Chinese history, and the author went over the horrific transliteration of Mandarin in European pronunciation. Yes, I heard that. Is there a 5-minute notification for early notice? I don't think I understand what you mean by this. Is it for impromptu streams you want a 5-minute notification? Yeah, I can do that. That would be very easy. Okay. And yeah. Yeah. And like, are there any other questions, comments before I sign off? This is like, so for me, I always take just Western articles because they are all psycho. And by the way, the Belarusian Guaido, I can't remember her name, so I'm just going to call her Belarusian Guaido. She was meeting with Biden for some odd reason yesterday. So that could be the context of Biden's weird thing. But yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh yeah. Pedro Castillo swore in yesterday. So I am almost done with my Bolivia's article and expect the same exact thing with Pedro Castillo. Yeah, things are, it looks like the US. Yeah, I can do this. This is not at all hard. Yeah, absolutely. This yeah, I just need to kind of set up the, you have to click on the, if you click on the bell, I can make this happen. So yeah, but you have to click on the bell. Yes, I love that. No more poor people in rich countries. That's Pedro Castillo's slogan, and he's great. He's going to have a new constitutional assembly. So yeah, and let's see. Oh yeah, ignore. Thank you, Wade. Sorry, I don't know why I called you Wade. I will do more. Like every single article is just like filled with like any neocon. I should call it that. Yes, deconstruct. Well, I'll just call it trolling like Lenin. No, deconstructing. I don't know. How do I make it into whatever? Yeah. Yes, I can do more deconstruction. So just but I need somebody to be my deconstruction article suggester, and one person. So if you want to volunteer to be I will tell everyone to tweet articles out to you. And yeah, I can always do this, especially with regards to foreign policy, because they literally invert reality with like anything around the world. The worst is with like, they literally invert reality. I don't know how else to say other than inverting reality. Yeah. And like, thank you. I will continue to do these deconstructions. too bad Mehdi Hassan's stupid show on the Intercept's already called Deconstructed. He used to have this. Is he still in there, or is he like full time MSNBC? I don't know. So, yeah. Propaganda something. We'll call these whatever. Yeah, we'll make this something cool. With that, I will sign off. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And I will, yeah, and be sure to hit like, subscribe, whatever else you want me. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, share this stream. And yeah, we can continue to deconstruct regime change propaganda because I am a big proponent of not being a regime change dupe. And is there anything else before I sign off? I just want to, okay. You too. Bye bye.